our exchange student's dad. Boy, that's a mouthful. Anyway, there was an armed robbery at their plantation, and like it's like out here, way in the hell gone from somewhere. And one of them got shot in the arm. He had a sling on, and then as we're getting this story deciphered to us, I guess my eyes were getting bigger every sentence. And today was payday, the day we were there. And don't you like how I drag out a friggin' story? Anyway, you could hear a helicopter coming, and I looked up and I says, "What's that?" And he says, "Oh, that's how we get the payroll in here now. They won't be able to come in and rob us like they did the last time. I guess they just drove in there in trucks, and that was the end of it." And the two things that they grew there were tomatoes and roses. And where they went, to the United States, when they were sold. Except for the best tomatoes, they stayed in Mexico. Now, what was neat about this whole operation is they had a conveyor belt. So these trucks would come in and you would dump like a dump truck, but for vegetables. They would dump it down a conveyor belt, and there were people picking these things out right away. Things that didn't look right. Maybe they're rotten. I don't know. Whatever. They just start pulling them off. Then they went through a wash, and these tomatoes are all tumbling. And anyway, a fairly high pressure wash would wash them, and then they would all fall into this tub. Great big freaking tub about the size of an Olympic pool, where they were basically coated with, I think it was paraffin wax, a very light coat. Then they would come out onto another conveyor belt, and then they were sorted, put on pallets, and then from there they go to another area of the plant where they boxed them all up. It's pretty neat. And he must have had several, I'd say maybe 400 or 500 workers there. And I said, "How much do they get paid, these guys?" He says, maybe a couple of dollars a day. It wasn't very much. He says, "How can they survive on that?" He says, "No problem. There's still a chicken on the way home." So they all had to walk there every day and back. It was a big deal for these guys to have a job. Oh, I can't see. The older I get, the harder it gets to turn my body around. Now I'm done dawdle too long here, because I've got to get in the car wash, and then I could dawdle and make my time from there. And I really hope there's no big lineup this morning. And I'm not having much success with my phone to use, unless it's mounted on a tripod for making videos. And making these videos all the time, or not much lately, but it's just me talking on the way to the city and back. And if you like that, then this is a good place to listen to as I ramble on about things and never stick on the same subject for very long. Thing is, I grew up with what's called ADHD. Had a hard time in school, and all that comes with it. And then, let's see, I must have been in my 40s. There we go, there's bright. I had to take a young feller into the psychologist to get him to figure out what was happening with him. His schoolwork wasn't all that good. Always fidgety, didn't pay attention. And I recognized a lot of him in myself. But anyway, they told him that he had ADHD. And then the light came on. So I went and got assessed. And they said, yeah, you got the affliction. Or something like that, right? So, it's funny when you're listening to these conversations I have, they flip all over the place. Gotta watch out for deer. Still. So now I recognize what's going on in the old noggin there a lot better, and it just makes it easier day by day to keep myself out of trouble. We'll go 83. Never bright, man. Corn looks a little better from this side anyway. That was looking pretty yellow on the bottom. What a great apple. It might be one of these Fuji ones. Out there loading up his wood truck. This guy that we used to get our wood from, he sells about 300, 400, 500 cords of wood every year. Gives him enough money for this great big boat he's got. And he'll drive it over to Ontario, get it in the Great Lakes, or he'll get in the river somewhere. And I think he went all the way down to Alabama or someplace like that. Thought that was pretty cool. I have to check out my grass when we come home. I think the other day, maybe Friday, I took the mower for a spin up in the upper fields to see what's going on. No real blackberries this year to speak of. They were smaller than a raspberry, or blueberry size. Even the bears didn't bother getting into it. Well, here we go. See that corn underneath? It does look a lot better now. something went through the corn there. Now this guy on the right, he had a little sheep or so in there. Yeah, we still got him. I don't know. That'd be pet. Well, it's a good thing that we're going now. Because if I went earlier, I would have been in a whole pile of traffic. Morning. Now we're going to go right back into the sun. And after the car wash, I kind of come back right to here, to our garage in there, Able Automotive. Their sign's right above the Reefer Kings. What? This guy's turning here. This guy's whipping along, and that guy's turning. Some kind of nutrition thing. There. There's a truck with a rack on the top. Well, here we go, folks. Good 3/4 of a tank. Oh. Here, pick up the speed a little. Start trying to focus on where I gotta go. Because if I miss it, it's gonna be a long trip. Somebody hit the brakes. You really gotta watch out for deer along here. The last time I came through, there was one killed right along here on the right. Right there. A few years back, my young fella was working for the forestry department for the government here, and that was part of his job, was driving around picking up all these dead animals off the sides of the road. They do a pretty good job here. They don't see anything that's been there for great lengths of time. Can be a rather icky job. Then they haul them out somewhere and put them all together. They call it the boneyard. Nice driving along here. Oh, there's Curry Mountain right ahead, and we're just going by the dry ice plant. I don't think it works anymore, but if it wasn't for the friggin' peel, I'd have this apple gone long ago. You gotta take the Jeep in and get we got some paint bubbling in the back at the lift gate. Down where the handle is, open it up. Better get to it before it gets too bubbly down there, so we can see if we can stop the corrosion. Now these roads in the wintertime are usually pretty good. There's not a lot of ice on them, but you pay for that cost and your vehicle to get it repaired, to get rid of all the corrosion that's underneath it. It's pretty bad when it can eat through the frame. Last time coming into the city, some freaking motorcycle somewhere around here. He went by me, he must have been going 150, 150. He was going damn fast. Too fast. And he come up on you so fast that you don't even realize I'm there until you hear him going by like bam. And of course he's got to shift a couple of gears. Up and down. You almost jump out of your seat. And it's not very often these guys get caught. Oh yeah, I'm not sure how the police would ever give a guy like that one of those freaking racing bikes. Wow. Digging in the big hole again. They've been digging around there for the last couple of years. I think it was like a storm surge or something like that when it. I know in Calgary, out where my mom and dad lived, or where I lived as a kid, they built this great big thing that looked up, I don't know, it was huge. It was like I thought it was going to be like a trout pond. It was that big. Anyway, it was for when they get these torrential rains, they have the water system or the sewers can't handle the amount of water, so they got it so that it'll bubble up into these soccer fields is what they turned them into. Oh, where's this lolly guy going here? Come on now. What? No passing. I should have passed him back there. Well, guess that's the way it is. You gotta be careful. There's a flag man out here. All the big chit-chat going on. Great, my hands are sticky now. When I was with my wife last week, I went through there. I was in the left lane. Cut the guy off on the right. He wasn't going to go anyway, but then I got in here. It's one of these things you don't bother telling your wife. As if it was going to go good for me. And just a lot of chewing. I'm not sure if it's this week or next week. I go to the denturist and I'm hoping my teeth are ready. Okay. We're close. There it is right there, Swifty. The Rubber Duck Car Wash. Ugh. Holy man. Good workout. Up here. Okay. Get the wallet out. Okay. Oh, that screen to start.
Please select one of the options on the screen. Please select a wash package.
Yeah.
Select payment method to continue.
$15. Okay, what do we got here?
Please tap your phone or card, or insert your card into the card reader. The chip should face upward. Do not remove your card. Processing.
Oh, good. Processing.
Approved.
Why, thank you.
Would you like a receipt?
Yeah,
No.
why not?
Oh no. Printing receipt. Please wait. Wash and use.
Well, print. No, it's our turn right now. All right, let's go. Nice to get here. Whoop, better go and drive, I think, today. Make sure all the windows are up. We were in that grocery store up there a couple of days ago too. It's called No Frills. I think it's owned by Loblaws. And when I started looking up these different like cheap stores like Giant Tiger and these other ones we have here, it would appear that they're all owned by only a few companies like Loblaws and Sobeys and Safeway, I think is the other big one. I'm not sure how many there is, but there's only about four companies that deal with about 99% of the food in Canada. They got caught again. There's some kind of price fixing. And, or no, it was mislabeling. Saying it's made in Canada when it wasn't. I think everything that comes into this country, regardless of what country it is, should have the country of origin on there. So you can make your own selections on what you want to spend your money on. Maybe I better put the frost on here. Oh, time to go.